What's up, guys? Floetic here, Dice Lemons. Little different, as you guys know, because we're all stuck in the house. But I have a very special guest all the way from Toronto. Want to introduce yourself?
What's up, everybody? My name is Grump from Toronto. Big fan of the show, big fan of Vancouver, big fan of Floetic.
Hey, appreciate you, bro. What you been up to, man? I mean, life's changed for everybody in the last 4 weeks or so. So, what have you been doing to keep busy?
Well, just trying to keep busy with DJing stuff, making some mixes for some of my favorite shows, keeping up with my own Sucio stuff. It's a party I throw here. I used to throw here once a month. It's a more of like the Latin flavor, dancehall vibes, but I've been trying to keep it alive online with the virtual parties and doing some pop-up sets here and there with some other stuff that's going on.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Sucio.
Okay.
I mean, we throw a party out here called Hush. It's kind of catered to a specific crowd. And you just said your parties are more like, dance hall and maybe some Latin music and whatnot.
Yeah,
so, like, how did that come apart? Like, how did that happen?
Well, I started Sucio about 3.5 years ago now. Just doing random pop-up parties. And at the time, the scene here was very, like, trap heavy and hip-hop heavy. And although that music has always been a big part of our cultural identity in Toronto, there was never really, aside from Yes Yes Y'all, which is more queer oriented, there wasn't anything for the masses, I guess. So I put together this party as a one-off, and then slowly it started to pick up, and it's influenced a few other parties, and people have done their own things. So my whole thing originally was to bring, my own Latin flavor and the Afro beats and the dancehall music that I grew up loving and still love to the city in a brand new format. But now I'm all about just bringing together all the diverse communities in the city just into like one inclusive dance party so that everybody can just let loose and have fun. So I don't want to like not include certain people, certain cultural identities and everything. So I want this to be for everyone in general.
Right. And how often does that happen?
I used to do it once a month. This year I changed the format and I was doing it quarterly. So we had one that we did a few months ago at Soho House here that went really well. And I was supposed to do the most recent one last Thursday, which would have been unreal. And we had a really good lineup and some great sponsors involved, but it's going to have to wait.
Yeah, for sure. How is this lockdown affected you, say, like mentally? Like, are you with the music and stuff, like, are you finding that you're still progressing as an artist, or like has it halted? Because I know this is affecting people a little different, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in the same boat as a lot of my peers, that we're just faced with so much uncertainty that we don't know what to look forward to or what's next. So I think all I can do personally as an artist is just continue to get better. Obviously, not everybody shares the same kind of motivation, and everyone should work at their own pace. But I mean, I've been trying to keep up with music and still mix every day if I can. Now I've gotten into Serato Studio, so I've been digging deep into making more edits and making more of my own music that I've been wanting to do it for a few years. Now that I have time to do it, what better time? So yeah, I mean, mentally it has kind of affected me. At first, it took a while to kind of get used to. It was kind of painful to DJ at home, even if it was just practicing, because, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what is this for? What am I doing? But I've gotten out of that hump with a few. I mean, I do my Sucio stream every Fridays. So I have that to look forward to, and a lot of people tune into that. So I've started to kind of get new ideas of how I can do different kind of virtual parties, because I'm convinced that after all this is over, virtual parties aren't going away. I feel like it's going to, even in like the next few weeks, I bet there's going to be a way for people to start monetizing off of it. There's going to be better platforms. I don't think this is going anywhere, because I have a friend who, not really a friend, someone who follows me on social media, I should say. And she brought up a really good point, because she's disabled and she's never had more fun in her life. So she's been tuning into my sets and all these other sets that have been going on Zoom and on IG, and she's loving it. And she's posting like, I've never had this much fun in my life. And like, I even have to pace myself because I don't have, like, I'm not able-bodied and all that. So hearing all that for me is just like so eye-opening into like how many people we kind of disregarded, and like how many like how wide our audience can reach if we keep going with these virtual kind of parties. So it's really interesting. I'm really excited to see where it goes, as I think it's going to go hand in hand with IRL sets.
Yeah, because it's cool you say that, because like I was talking to Keisha, and I was like, same thing. I'm just practicing, making music, whatever, just doing what he can, and it's like you get the itch. You miss the crowd. You miss interacting with people. You miss like little things like going on the mic and shouting out your homies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like little things like that. So it's like the Instagram live feeds or Twitch or whatever people are using. It's kind of like the you know, you have a crowd. You have a crowd again. So I agree. Like I think it's just transitioning. Obviously, it's new to everybody. But I agree that live streams and stuff like that aren't really going anywhere. Like,
No.
yeah, because even when life gets back to normal, right? People are still going to be hesitant to leave the house at first.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think we're going to be one of the last people to go back to work.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like clubs are going to open up, but it's going to be like 50, 100 people allowed inside. And all these places aren't going to be able to afford us. So it's going to be like a gradual kind of thing. So that's why I feel like get used to it now.
Yeah.
Like start your own thing if you can.
Yeah. Jump the gun.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears here.
Cool.
Your DJ name's Grump. Let's talk about that. How did that come about?
Well, I started as That Boy Richie, and that lasted maybe like 2 years. But at the time, I was producing a lot more. So that was kind of like that artist name. And then after a few years, once I started getting like more DJ gigs, it kind of was like, I think at that point I was like 25 or 26. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to shed the like boy kind of like thing in my name. And I was DJing with a homie, James Reddy, once, and somebody came to make a request. And I just, classic, what we all do is going to just shun them away. And she just went to complain to James and say, like, this guy's an asshole, like, you know.
Yeah.
And why isn't he taking a request? And he's like, well, what do you expect? He's a grump. And from there, it kind of was like, oh, okay. And then it just kind of stuck with me, where I was like, I kind of like identified with it in a way. So I fiddled around with some logos and branding. I was like, it just stuck with me. But as everyone always says to me as they get to know me, they're like, oh, you're not much of a grump. But I'm like, catch me when I'm DJing and I'm like in the zone, and then you'll get that side of me.
So someone tried to come up and request a song, which is like the everyday for DJs, right? Do you have like a moment that you remember of someone that was like super rude or threw you off a bit for a request?
I mean, I feel like they're almost all rude, right? Like, well, people don't understand this. Listen, I'll give you this. I tell this to everybody. I think making a request, I always compare it to going to a restaurant, seeing the menu, and being like, I don't fucking like any of this. I'm going to go into the kitchen and ask the chef, make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't like this menu. It's like, you wouldn't do that. Like, nobody would do that. So, like, why would you, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like DJs that are reputable, that are playing at reputable places, are there for a reason, because people trust us to bring a certain vibe. So just let us do our thing. And most of the time it's for like the most popular Drake song or whatever it is, right? So it's like, just wait, like we'll play it, or like respect if we haven't played it yet. And I mean, there's some DJs that love playing requests. But it just throws me off.
What's the funniest line you've heard? Like, for example, for me, I love, and this is very consistent, I love the, well, I just got here, can you play it again? Or it's my birthday, can you, is there a line that like, you're just like cringeworthy?
Oh, I love the, I know the owners. And I'm like, I do too. That's the take out my phone and be like, let's text them right now. Like, let's, you know what I mean? Like,
yo, one time, this is the funniest shit that's happened to me. You played at Aura with me, I think, a few years ago.
Yeah.
So anyways, for people that don't know Aura, the booth is kind of it's the forefront, obviously, but to the right of the DJ booth, there's a VIP section. So you have to know somebody to get into the back. So anyways, obviously I was cool with the bouncers, and one of them came up to me and was like, hey, your cousin is trying to get back here. And I'm like, my cousin? I'm like, I don't have any cousins here. I have no cousins here, you know what I mean? So I look over, and it's just like a random black dude I've never met before in my life, and he's pointing like, yo, Floetic, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know you, bro. And then whatever, just like people will do anything to try and be, you know, in the cool area or whatever. But that's the funniest shit. He's like, yo, that's my cousin. My cousin's
Yeah.
playing. My cousin. I'm like, bro, come on, do better. You know what I mean?
I've gotten something similar, but it's to get into the club.
Mm,
And it was somebody who was Filipino, and I'm
mhm.
like very much Latino, but I get mistaken for Filipino all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So like this guy was like, "Yeah, I'm Grump's cousin, Grump's cousin," and the bouncer looked at him like, "I'm pretty sure you're not Grump's cousin." Like,
People do
I can
it.
assure you.
It's crazy, man. Okay, let's keep it moving. Is there a party, a festival, or any goals or anything that like you want to attain, or maybe even wanted to do this year, but you know it got halted,
uh,
obviously. But is there anything that comes to mind right off the bat?
yeah, I mean, there's so many great parties in this here. Like, uh, it's so hard to keep up because so many new ones keep popping up. But um, I really, really, really like Yes, Yes, Y'all. As I've previously mentioned, it's like
Hmm.
similar vibe to what I've done. So I would really love to play a set for them.
Hmm. For
Um,
people that don't know what that is, because I'm not even really familiar about what that is.
yeah,
Like, what is Yes Yes Yo?
Yes, Yes, Y'all is. I think they do it quarterly now. And actually, I have a big virtual one coming up with some homies like James Cam's playing it.
Hmm.
They throw like quarterly queer parties that are more tailored towards dancehall and like just more like island rhythms.
Oh, dope.
But it's just like a sweaty dance party, like a proper thing. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of that, as I said, like there's a lot of that sound in our city right now, and a lot of people are doing it, but this is like the right vibe where it's like no cool guy shit, like everybody's there to
Oh,
dance, and
hell yeah.
they do a really good job of filtering out like the bad seeds in the audience, so you can really let loose and have a good time there. So I would really like to be a part of that. I would
Hmm.
love to have them be a part of my party.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I would even love to play your party in, in
Yeah, yeah.
Vancouver
No
at
doubt.
Hush, right? That's one thing I noticed about Van is that, and I'm glad you guys are doing it because it's not every set that you can drop those kind of vibes. And
Hmm.
like in Toronto, where you can play it pretty much anywhere,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people will be into it. And there, it's like very particular, and like it has to be a party catered to that for people to know what kind of to expect. Because I definitely dropped some stuff that goes off in Toronto and Vancouver that was like dead air, and I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah, so I was
sure,
actually gonna. That's like leads into my next little question for you. It's like,
yeah,
what do you feel is the difference between, like, obviously I'm in Vancouver and Toronto,
yeah.
because for me, I feel like Vancouver is more of a college city in the sense of the young kids just want to hear the bangers
Mm-hmm.
and go home and sleep. Meanwhile, in Toronto, I played in Toronto numerous times. It's kind of like you can cater to everybody and your style. You can play dancehall, you can play some funk, you can play whatever, and the crowd's pretty receptive. So, like, have you felt the same way being out here?
I'm gonna go on record and say I fucking love playing Vancouver. Like
Nice.
I make an effort to come out there because I really, really do like playing it. And I think it's because we don't have a lot of venues like you guys have anymore. Like you guys very much still have club culture.
Yeah.
Like we have, as you know, like more of the intimate spaces like Apartment 200 that are more
Hmm.
like lounges that are transformed into dance parties. But like
Hmm.
the King Street strip that we have, although there's like clubs there and the whole bottle service thing, it's not like like the mega clubs that you guys have, like Aura and those
Hmm.
joints were like a full on light show and everything. Like
Hmm.
that's one thing I loved about Aura is like doing my set and having the light guy right beside me, like just
Yeah,
as
yeah, killing
going
it.
in, you know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff that I really dig. And I have one spot that I play out. It's not even in Toronto; it's in Barrie, about an hour away, and that is the closest thing to like a mega club that I play in. Because here we have like maybe like two or three, and they're like massive. They're like concert venues basically that
Mm,
get transformed into
yeah.
clubs. So it's very, and they have like their OGs have been there for like ever. So it's very hard to get into those spaces. But I feel like Vancouver is at least. I mean, I may be naive, but from what I see, I think they're just more receptive to like DJ culture and like just giving people different chances and like just having the right spaces with the right equipment and just stays true to like DJ culture as opposed to here. I think the budget's less and you got to bring your own gear and like you really don't know what you're going to expect with in terms of like the sound and
Hmm.
the crowd. So I personally, I know I've heard from a lot of Vancouver homies that they're like, "Oh, we're so sick of it here. We want to go somewhere else." And I guess it's because you're used to playing the
You're just
same
there.
spots over and over again. Yeah,
Yeah.
but for me, it's like it's always a treat. And I was looking forward to this trip I wasn't able to do this time around too.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of great spots lined up.
Man, we'll make that happen once we're allowed out.
Yeah, no, trust me. I got that Air Canada credit. I'm ready to go.
There you go. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you talk about like the club scene here, because I remember I won't say the venue in Toronto, but I was playing. In my head, I'm like, yo, I'm killing this shit. But everyone was just like standing around, looking around, popping bottles, and I'm like,
that's the thing in Toronto that I hate the most, is that most of the places that are like cool to play,
yeah,
no one's going in. Like, everyone's just more concerned about Instagram,
yeah,
and
bro,
bottles and all that shit. Like, I want to make people dance. I don't give a fuck about your Instagram
bro.
story.
I was like, I literally looked at my homie that I was playing with. I'm like, yo, am I shitting the bed? Like, is that me? No. He's like, no, you're killing it. And then at the end of the night, the owner's like, when can we book you again? I'm like, I don't know if I want to come back. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It was kind of because I'm used to people actually partying here. Like, no matter how old you are, people party in Vancouver. You know what I mean? Like,
and you go longer there too, right? Like,
we go till
last calls at 3.
Last calls and they're serving liquor till 3. Like, it's not like lights are on. Like, lights are on at like 3:30, right?
Yeah.
But it's like I was just like blown away by that. But I guess it's just a cultural difference, right?
That extra hour makes such a difference, because I feel like in Toronto nobody really leaves the house till 11:30, so the place isn't full till 12:30. So you have an hour and a half to really play.
Your power hour.
Everyone's out by 2:20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then everybody that's pre-drinking is just fucking downing their drinks, so by the time they get to the club, they're wasted, and then that affects the club's bottom line too, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're not biting as much from the bar.
No doubt.
So I don't know, man.
Just happens.
I think an extra hour in Toronto is very well deserved. For us to be like considered the mecca of DJing in Canada, like we really need a lot of changes to the city.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. Like, is it if it's a violence thing, or is it just like a noise thing on the streets after? Because there's got to be something behind why it's closed so early. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and now we have new bylaws too, so we can only make certain noise up to a certain decibel level, depending on what permit you have. So the majority of places in Toronto don't operate under a nightclub license; they operate under a restaurant license. So technically, they're not even allowed to have DJs. So by 11 o'clock, they have to be like quiet. So if anybody can make a noise complaint now. So if you're like a bar of capacity of 80 people and you're well over that capacity, you're making a lot of noise. Somebody who lives upstairs can call the cops, and you're.
That's it. That's so.
I know.
Shitty. Let's talk about like your DJ career. Like, how did it start? How did it get to what was your first DJ name you said?
Dat Boy Richie.
So how did it start from that to Grump talking to me on Zoom right now? Like,
well, the Dat Boy Richie name came because I was fiddling around with samples, and I was watching a movie based on the book Go Ask Alice. And there's just a scene when Alice's mom walks into the room and she says, like, there's a phone call for you, it's Dat Boy Richie. So I just cut that Boy Richie as like my drop for whenever I make beats, like the mustard on the beat kind of thing. So that was like my thing. So that's where that name started, and I was just I was more focused on making beats. I was working with my homie who ended up being my MC for a long time, making beats for him, and I was really focused more on that. But from that came an opportunity to just DJ like a hip hop night that was chill. It was mostly friends, and so I did it. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I definitely didn't transition. I was playing on a controller, but I was already collecting vinyl too. So I think I DJed on a controller a few times, and then from there I was like, no, fuck it, I'm just going to DJ vinyl. So I was like doing pure vinyl sets for like about a year and a half, 2 years. And then from there I learned Serato and, DVS and went from there. But I think I don't know, it's so hard to like look at what worked, what didn't. But I think what people like about me is that I just bring so much energy to my sets. Like, I'm just dancing and sweating as much as everybody else in the crowd. So I guess people kind of like feed off that energy. And just my sets are just kind of like unpredictable, especially if I have like an open format crowd where I can do whatever I want. It's like I love to like mash different sounds together. And I dress up, I get into it with everyone. And I think that's what really makes me stand out among Toronto DJs that just, for the most part are just screw face doing their thing, like robotic.
You
get a little burst of life with me. So.
Yeah. Have you had like what would you say was your biggest struggle in say bursting into the industry?
I think just getting into my own head, just chasing validation and trying to work with people who who I thought I would need to work with to get like ahead or to get into different crowds. But I don't know. I mean, at times I'm still like that, right? But you know, you always want to play with new people. You always want to learn and get better. But I think just struggling with not knowing my worth, I guess, and not knowing what I bring to the table, and always wanting what other people have, or you know, getting the gigs that other people have, and not really appreciating my own and growing from there. I think once I got over that and really honed in on like the gigs I've got and the talents I have and what I bring to the table, I just grew from there, and that's what really worked in my favor. I have a bit of a background working in marketing, so that definitely helped a lot in terms of my branding and networking. So that's always a plus because DJing isn't, as you know, just what you do behind the decks, right?
Yeah,
it goes everything beyond that. So yeah.
So like, if someone says, "Hey, Floetic, I'm going to Toronto. I saw this Dice Lemons. I want to go to a Grump party." What are they expecting?
What are they expecting?
Yeah, like what can they expect? What can I tell them they're gonna get for sure from a Grump party?
A completely sweat drenched outfit at the end of the night.
That's dope. I like that. That's super sick. Yeah, because like I asked you that question because I do have people that ask me all the time, like, "Yo, you've been to here, you've been to here. Like, where should we go?" I'm kind of like the encyclopedia for my friend circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And it's always like, "Well, go check this person, blah blah blah." Like, what kind of music do they play? And I'm like, just go have a good time. If I'm telling you they're dope, it's gonna be dope. You know what I mean?
I guess it depends on what you're into, right? Because there are people that, and it's like no hate, it's like that's what you want. That's what you want. They just want to like hear hard, like 150, 160 BPM, like techno.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not playing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so I guess asking someone who's a good DJ, it's like the follow-up question is like, well, what do you want?
What do you want? Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? 'Cause I can name you 5 homies on the top of my head, but they'll probably not be what you want.
Yeah. All right, Grump, we're gonna wrap this up a little bit. Segment I call 3 for 3. So 3 things you can't live without, 3 things that need to go, 3 things that need to come back. So what would you like to start with?
Let's start with things that need to go away.
All right, talk to me.
Okay, people that don't dance in the club.
Okay, I like that.
I feel like we should have security in there just watching for people that are like, what are you doing? Being sus?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
You're being kind of weird, bro. Aren't you dancing?
Taking up space. You know what I mean?
That's
At
dope.
least buy a bottle, like contribute in some way.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, I like that one. That's a good start.
Okay, you guys don't have Swiss Chalet over there, do you?
Oh, we do, but it's not like that common.
Okay,
so I think we got one in the burbs.
Out Swiss Chalet.
Oh, for real?
You have like what's the equivalent of Swiss Chalet over there? Because it's definitely all regional. Like Red Robin?
Yeah, I think Red Robins would probably be the same.
I think, yeah, right. So, okay. So Swiss Chalet here lately has been fucking with me too much because I love Swiss Chalet for the record. But they have a habit of throwing in these like ethnic specials. Like now they have like they got jerk chicken right now, and I'm like, I can't. I have such a tight budget, but I need to try it, and it's always a thing with me where I'm like, chicken parmesan from Swiss Chalet, it's gonna suck, but I'm gonna try it. I need to try it, so I need them to stop doing these things because I can't take it anymore. I try everything, and the other day I had it like in my cart and everything about to order, and it was like it came to like $50 for my wife and I was like, no, I can't. And there's food in the fridge. I can't do it. So I need him to just stop because I'm dying to know if it's any good. And it's probably really bad, but I still need to really try it.
You just need to validate it yourself.
So I need him to stop with that. Just stick with the classic rotisserie. That's all I need.
Okay, I like that.
And the last one is a kind of obvious one. I think we can mostly all agree on this is Trump. Because I'm just tired of seeing it. Like, man is just a headache.
Yeah.
Every time it's getting worse. This is like, I think, just when I think it's like the peak of his stupidity, like he always does or says something to kind of like top it. So I just need it to be gone. Like, I don't even go to the States because of the way that, you know, Latinos are treated over there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now it's like we have even less of a reason to go. And I'm pretty convinced he's going to win another 4 years. So
I think without a doubt he's winning. Like, without a doubt.
Think Bernie was the only chance of him losing. Yeah. So I'm holding out for when AOC definitely runs in 8 years, hopefully.
Fuck,
So
man.
have the first. Then we're gonna really see all the Latino voters come out. I promise you that.
Hell yeah, there you go.
Y'all don't even know how many Latinos aren't even voting right now.
Yeah.
Like, she's gonna get all the vote.
All right, hey man, I'm waiting for that day too. Fuck. Okay, so that's 3 things that need to go away. How about 3 things that need to come back?
Okay, the classic, like white, purple, and silver Raptors jerseys. Like the ones from like the post Big Dino era.
Yeah.
Like when Vince was and T Mac were like starting to get like decent.
Yeah.
I want those jerseys back. A lot of people hated on those jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
I personally love, like when I play 2K, those are my go-to all the time.
Nice.
So I want those to come back.
Yeah.
Second, because I just read that it's not coming back for a second season. Watchmen, which I really enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
I thought it was incredible, and I would have really loved a second season, but apparently we're never going to get it.
Yeah.
And third is Ticketmaster's old return policy, because they changed it 2 days ago, and I have some concert tickets that are definitely going to get canceled or postponed, and I won't be able to get a refund. So
shitty.
Need those to come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like those.
Listen, you didn't give me a lot of time to think. So.
No, but you're killing. You're killing. I feel like you had these already ready in the back of your mind.
I am neurotic as fuck, so these things come to my mind like all the time.
I like that. All right, give me 3 things you can't live without.
These are very easy. Yeah. My wife, my cats, and weed.
You know what? Let's talk about all 3 of those things, actually.
Okay, so, let's do it. I'd love to.
Relationships in the industry, like how have you? Because obviously it's a little tricky. We're around, alcohol, drugs, bright lights, women, whatever. We're around a lot of shit as DJs. So how have you maneuvered through that to have a healthy relationship?
I've been dating my wife for as long as I've been DJing. Like literally, she came to my first gig.
Nice.
But I've known her longer than that. We just kind of reconnected around that time. But obviously, starting out as a DJ and going through all that and starting a new relationship, there are problems that come with it. But I think I grew as a person, as a professional, as an artist, everything alongside with her. So it really nurtured me, made me grow as a person.
Nice.
I have never been... I think I just had like a lot of crazy years before I started DJing. So I had all the party element out of my system by the time I really started DJing and getting like more work and becoming like a full-time DJ. As you know, I can't drink for shit. I can't keep up with you guys. You guys destroy me when I come to town. So like that, like I probably get drunk maybe 2 to 3 times in a month. And really drunk only at one particular venue that I play where like they shower me in tequila and I have no choice. But like that whole party life that comes with DJing, I've never really been caught up with.
Yeah.
So that part of it hasn't really been an issue for me. But no, I mean, like my wife is super supportive. She's my biggest fan. She's my biggest inspiration. So I've never really had trouble in balancing my life as an artist and my life as a partner. So
that's amazing, man. And like talking, I mean, we'll talk about smoking and stuff. We'll just lead into that. But like, I've seen a lot of DJs come and go because the party lifestyle they couldn't handle, right? Because like I said, we're around a lot of quick cash, liquor, drugs, all types of shit. So you said you kind of got out your system. Do you feel like that helped you the most? Or is it kind of like your friend circle? Or is it just you just knowing that, doing alcohol, doing drug, or, doing all that stuff consistently will just fuck you up?
I think, I mean, it's easy to get caught up with it when you're just being fed drinks and you don't have to worry about paying for any of it, and it's accessible as a glass of water. But I guess I don't know. I've never really been too into drinking, and then seeing a lot of my peers get lost in the sauce and lose work from it and lose gigs. I think that kind of motivated me to not get to that point or not let it be what I'm all about. I feel like at times I've lost opportunities because I'm not a party DJ in that sense, where you don't see me turning up with bottles as much as other people do, and I feel like, oh, maybe if I party more, I play these places, because sometimes those people push bottles on other people, and like club owners care about how many bottles you sold at the end of the night compared to like how well your set is. So that's never been me, and I guess now I know that, and I just focus on getting the gigs where, you know, my brand aligns the best, I guess, and my personality. So I don't know. It's just been kind of a way, but weed is kind of different because it relaxes me and it doesn't really bring the same kind of effects that alcohol does.
Yeah.
So, but with as much as you guys can pound an entire bottle of tequila like nothing, I can pound a bunch of edibles and do a DJ set.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like
it balances out. I'm like, no saint.
Because I remember one time you're in Vancouver and we were like, I don't smoke that much. You know what I mean? Like I might smoke like 2 joints a week. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that kind of guy. But I remember the night before we DJed at Aura, and then we went for dinner. I think it was a Sunday or whatever. And you were smoking. We had a joint. You smoked. I'm like, oh, I can't keep up. This guy's gonna kill me. I know how he feels with me.
Yo, and I always tell people the story that the first time I came to Van and I met you at the post show, and then you got me that gig,
which was super random, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
For those that don't know,
to me, right?
For those that don't know, like Grump and I never met. I think we were talking on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a show. I got a chance to open up for Post Malone, and I was in the back, and we just met in the back. Like Grump and I just walked by, we started talking, and now we're on Zoom. It's crazy. Life is crazy. Life is crazy, man.
Yeah, it was Post's opener.
St. John's.
No, the other one, Tyler.
Oh, Tyler Way or something.
Yeah. His DJ was friends with me.
Yeah.
He's played my party Sucio a few times, so he saw that I was in Vancouver, and he's like, "Come to the show." And then I saw that you're there, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
it just lined up so perfectly.
Small world, but
and then you got me that gig at the end of the night that I totally shit the bed because I was just gone. Like we chain smoke joints at your place and drank that blueberry vodka where you were like, "I have no chase. This is all I have. We're drinking this." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then, we get to the gig, and I'm about to start, and I get no fucking signal coming out of I got a signal coming out of the mixer, but no audio.
Yeah.
Because I had my reverse switch on.
You know what? To kind of ease your mind, that place shut down a long time ago. So, hey.
Hey, and I learned afterwards it was like it was a Trump building, right?
Yeah.
So, fucking whatever.
But fuck them. Anyways, so yeah, you smoke before your set?
Yes. Usually that's like my tradition that I go and set up early and have a nice session to myself and just, get in the zone and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been finding recently, maybe it's just because I'm aging, that I play a lot better when I'm not high. Not that I suck when I am high, but it's just I feel like I can think a lot better. And I feel like when I'm stoned, I go to my routines or tracks that I'm more familiar with. Yeah. Whereas when I'm just completely sober, I get more creative on the go, which could be good or bad. I don't know. But because gigs aren't necessarily the best places to be trying out new things. But I feel like a lot of the time lately, I've just been functioning a lot better. Clear-headed.
Fair enough. And lastly, let's talk about your cats, man. I know you love cats.
Oh, she's right here.
Bring her on, man.
Come here, baby. Oh my god. There's Busy.
What's up, Busy? So, how did you become a cat lover, man?
I'm just an animal lover in general. I've had I've been around animals my whole life.
Nice.
But cats I love more than dogs because I was going to say because they're not as needy, but she's been chasing me the whole day to give her attention. But I have 2, and the other one's way more chill and keeps to himself. She's attached to me at the hip and wants me, now that we've been home more, to play with them a lot more. And she has way more energy. Yeah. But I like cats more than dogs because you have to earn a cat's respect.
Okay.
Dogs, they see you and they're like all over you, pet me and all that, where cats are just like, you know what I mean? Like standoffish. You got to get to know you. They don't trust everybody.
Yeah.
Even when they do know you, they have their, not to brag, but they prefer me over my wife. She's in the next room and she can hear this.
Yeah.
But
that's dope.
But they just, I don't know. I just feel like cats are more of a challenge to get them to like you. And then when they do, it's like the best reward. I don't know.
That's sick.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't an animal person because I didn't grow up with pets, but when I moved, and Keisha and I moved in together, she had a dog, and I'm like, oh, like where have you been all my life? You know
so
what
now
I mean?
You love them?
Yeah, now I would get a pet any chance I get. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's amazing. Okay, listen, let's wrap this up. I have one last question for you before I let you go.
Let's do it.
Give any word of advice to an aspiring DJ or any fans that want to follow you or anything like that. Like, what's one tip that you want them to take away from this interview?
Or don't DJ like anyone else.
Okay, I like that.
Have your influences, but do your own thing.
Elaborate. Like, what do you mean? Like, don't dress like so. I know what you mean.
No, not as much that, but like I remember when I first started, and I would go out to see other DJs play. I would be like, oh, they do this, and this is the way they transition, and this is the way they use effects, and this is the way they do this, and that was into my head as in like, okay, these are the 3 DJs I admire. This is how I want to DJ. You know what I mean? Where like it took me a while to kind of come up with my own feel and way of DJing, where I feel like a lot of people, that's how they get influenced into DJing, where they see someone else do it and they're like, I want to be just like this person and DJ like them. Yeah. And then they try to learn to be similar to them, where I guess after a while you just got to realize, you'll get more work when you're just yourself and you bring something new and refreshing to the table.
That's dope. That's a good tip. That's what I try to teach people that ask me for questions and stuff, right? Ask me for tips. I say the same thing, like, create your own sound. It is possible. It's hard, but you don't want to sound the way that I explain it is, if I walk into a club and I can't see you, I should be able to know who is playing. You know what I mean? Like if I hear the energy that Grump brings, if I walk into a club, I'm gonna know right away, Grump's playing versus Floetic's playing versus whoever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's dope. Well, Grump, I appreciate you taking the time to chop it up with me. Thanks, and I mean, obviously, hope to see you soon in person. But for now,
yes, my man.
Be safe. Send some love to the family, and we'll hopefully see each other soon.
Yeah, man. Send my love to all the homies out there and to Keisha, and hope you stay safe.
Hell yeah, guy. All right, bro. Take care, man.
Love you, man. See ya.